Good morning. I, Priya Bari, on behalf of Good morning. I, Priya Bari, on behalf of Haldia Institute of Pharmacy, welcome you all on second day FDP. Today's topic is funding the future academic grant strategies for early career research. Today we have privilege to have Dr. Ankit Jain among with us. His eminent personality does not require any introduction. Ankit Jain has impressive academic record, achieving 99.34 percentile in rank first in Madhya Pradesh GATE exam 200 2008. He earned his B.Pharm, M.Pharm, and PhD at Dr. H.G. Vishwavidyalaya, Sagar in 2000 from 2009 to 2017. And during his PhD, he is concerned to work on thermosensitive liposomal therapy, which lead to patent grant IN 535581. During his academic journey, Dr. Jain has awarded different prestigious fellowship, including UGC JRF in his master's, CSIR SRF during PhD, and during master's research recognized 18 international meeting of ESGO in Liverpool 2030. Fourth World Congress on Science and Technology 2014, USA. He also awarded Young Scientist Award at MP, Young Scientist Congress in March 2017. He also conferred a top 2% scientist at Stanford University for last 4 years consecutive years. During his postdoctoral journey, he also bagged for first postdoctoral fellowship at ISC Bangalore and second postdoctoral fellowship from Texas A&M University on the year of 2022 to 2024. He has published over 121st international paper and 30 plus book chapter in international book. His research has received significant citation with total 4680 plus citation, H index of 39 and I index of 74. He's successfully secured grant totaling over 8 million INR. Now, his specialization in work delivery of BCS class 4 drugs with expertise in lipid and polymeric carrier. Currently, he served as assistant professor in Department of Pharmacy at Birla Institute of Technology and Sciences, Pilani, Rajasthan. Now, I welcome Dr. Jain to enlighten us with the topic funding the future academic grant strategies for early career research. His eminent sir, you can now proceed.
Yeah. Am I audible now? Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the nice introduction. Am I audible to everybody? Can anybody confirm, please?
Yes, sir, you can audible now.
Okay. So thank you very much, Haldia Institute of Pharmacy, and particularly I want to thank Dr. Pritesh Panda because he invited me, and I'm really happy to grace this event, or I would say the FDP. So I think I should start sharing the screen. Is it visible? Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's great. So I don't know the exactly what kind of audiences or the people in the audience you have. So may I confirm, are these scholars, faculties, or some sort of students as well? What kind of audience you have right now? Can anybody confirm, please? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You can audible now.
Okay. So let us begin. Today I will be discussing, how do we get the funds. So today's talk is actually focused for the early researchers, and I have also tried to include scholars, particularly PhD scholars and the postdocs. And the talk will be more aligning with the early career researchers. So the talk is based on the funding the future academic grant strategies for early career researchers. I'm Dr. Ankit Jain from BITS Plani, working as assistant professor. And Birla Institute of Technology is well known. It has NIRF third rank, and the institute is Institute of Eminence. So we are trying to do as good as possible. So the question is like, who are the early career researchers? Let us understand. So early career researchers are also called as early stage researchers or young investigators, particularly who are doing research. They may be the PhD scholars or who has just completed the PhD, like 5 to 7 years PhD, post PhD. So these are the individuals who are in the initial years of their independent research careers. When you are doing PhD, you are not independent truly, but it is your learning stage when you are doing research and getting the experience how to do the research independently. Once you complete the PhD, you are supposed to be independent researchers. That's why we call them early career researchers. So, in general definition, most Indian and international agencies define an early career researcher as a researcher who has completed their PhD or equivalent degree within the last 0 to 5 to 7 years and has not yet secured a permanent faculty or senior position. It is very general definition. Early career researchers may be assistant professor as well, but the permanent faculty position, it means you are not established yet. It means, let us understand what are academic grants. Sometimes we are confused what the fellowships with the grants. Fellowships are not grants truly, and we should segregate the grants from fellowship. Yeah, the student may be getting GRF, SRF, or sort of other fellowships, but the grants are not truly for uh, just getting the manpower only. Grants are also for establishing your lab and bringing new ideas to the research arena. So the grant writing in India, particularly in the academic and research context, it follows a structured process that involves identifying suitable funding opportunities, preparing a comprehensive proposal, meeting technical requirements, and submitting within deadlines. So the question is, sometimes we miss the deadlines, and most of the time we think we will start writing the proposal. We have sufficient time, more than 1 month, but it doesn't happen. Sometimes we are not able to meet the deadlines. Why? We start late. We are not prepared beforehand. So I want to highlight the things that we need to consider at each and every step and different stages. Here is a detailed breakdown of the Indian grant writing ecosystem. So let us see what are different criteria. I would say the eligibility criteria typical across funding agencies. There could be different funding agencies in India. We know DST, the Department of Science and Technology, and DST, the sister funding agency is like SERB. Now it is called ANRF. So SERB provides startup research grant. as the word says, startup. It means you are setting up your research lab. Okay. So the funding agencies in initial years, once you complete your PhD or you're supposed to complete your PhD. Okay. So they do not provide a lot of money like 1 CR or 2 CR, but there are some limitations to get this fund. Either you should not be more than 22 years of age, or you have just completed the PhD, and post PhD should not be more than 5 years. So it depends on the guidelines. A guidelines sometimes they change little bit so that they can cover a large population of researchers who are in early career stage. So the other requirement, maybe you should be an assistant professor, and particularly for a startup research grant on temporary position you cannot apply, particularly the guest faculty or contractual lecturers. On other side, you may get the grant from ICMR. It is early career division. From there, you should have PhD. Post PhD should not be more than 5 years. You should hold PhD or MD, MS. So no independent major project held in this case. If you're not having any major project, then you may get it. Other side, so you can grab the grant from DBT under BioCare or RA program. So you should have post PhD experience not more than 5 years. And in this particularly DBT, from DBT, they encourage women researchers because, there's an inequality in, of researchers when we compare male with the female. So government is also pushing the boundaries, particularly for the women researchers, or they also encourage the women researchers who have some sort of gap after their PhD. So they have different, I would say, the schemes. The government is pushing to encourage the women researchers to have a sort of research expansion. They must not have any large independent grant. If they are having sufficient funds, then government will not fund. Other agency like UGC or CSIR, they also provide startup schemes. They have similar limitations, post PhD less than 5 years. Okay. And preferably faculty position of PDF. PDF stands for postdoctoral fellowship. So if you are holding some sort of postdoctoral fellowship, you are still eligible to apply. And these kind of schemes or grants, you may also see when the researcher who are working overseas, they can apply like Ramanujan Ramalingam Fellowship, and they can come back to India and they can establish their career. Other side, you can grab a grant from INSA, YSA, INEAS, NASI Young Scientists. So they have other like limitations in age, like they provide the funds when you are aging from 35 to 40 years, and based on age and years post PhD experience, they provide opportunities. In case of international startup grants or opportunities, you may see the Welcome Trust, EMBO. So again, in majority of the funding agencies, they provide fund up to post PhD 7 years experience. If you are above 40, 42, then you need to see the higher level or the advanced research opportunities, because you are supposed to be at level at that stage. So based on the postdoc or group leader status, you may get the international grant. But for getting international grant, there is a lot of tug of war, or I would say here, proposal and CV should be sufficiently strong to support the grant. So what are the importance of academic grants? Why do we need to have to establish your lab or your career? These kind of grants enable research advancements, support publication, innovation. If you're not having money, you do not have bucks in your pocket, then how you will buy the consumables? How you will hire any GRF, SRF or the manpower? So without having money, you cannot do the research. Okay. And these kind of grants enhance institutional reputation. You must have seen any institution having very good grants, they will get the recognition. They will also get the more funds, because you will have a sufficient recognition, because people will see, yeah, you are doing very good research and you have a capability of doing the same, or you may sustain the research. And these kind of also foster interdisciplinary collaboration. So this kind of interdisciplinary collaboration you may do interdepartmental collaboration from one department like biological science and pharmacy and chemistry and sometimes biotechnology. So these are interdisciplinary sciences. And you may also do collaboration among different institutions. So they may be the Indian institutions. Okay. So if you are willing to apply grant multi-institutional, it is also possible. Other than that, you may also go beyond that. So it may be institutional other than Indian institute. So you may also collaborate with abroad institutions. But again, whatever you are putting in your research proposal, that should be complementary. It should not be like whatever you are doing, or the other institute or the co-PI or the partner institute is also doing the same thing. Then there's no meaning of collaboration. That important point you should keep in mind. So the question is, who can apply? Any faculty members who is assistant professor or above? And we are in this talk, I am focusing on the early career researchers, so particularly assistant professor, or who has just joined or not complete more than 5 years of their current position. Apart from that, the research scholars can also apply the grant. It depends on the opportunities, particularly CSIR, ICMR, and DST they provide. And postdoctoral fellowship, you have seen the NPDF, sometime DBTRAs, and other agencies they provide. And RA position you must have seen, like CSIR RA. So you may also have the grants for institute or universities. So the question is, when you're applying as an institute, then it should be very big grant. What does it mean? So the institute doesn't get the grant for an individual. You may need to apply for like Center of Excellence. You may apply like Center for Advanced Research or Center of sort of centers for different uh, facilities which are specific for uh, very focused area. Okay. So the proposal must align with the funding agency's objectives. That is very much important. Sometimes people do not read the objective. They start writing the grant and they think whatever we have written, it is best one, but may not be aligned with the objectives or the themes of the opportunities. So the proposal should also meet the technical and formatting requirements. It is very much important. Sometimes they write very specific keywords, word limit. They also put some bullet points. We should take care of each and every point. Okay. And formatting requirements. If they are writing that you should follow this format only, please do the same thing and demonstrate feasibility and impact. Sometimes we are writing too much things which may be on paper, but the research may not be feasible. It's very important. We should think of whether really it can be translated from in vitro data to preclinical further than clinical level, so that they can presume that it is really having some translation potential. The last point, but it is very much important, the impact. Impact to whom? Impact to the society. Does it have societal impact? Does it have some economic benefit? Is it also focusing to a specific population, like rural population, urban population? It may be demanding like for institution of like DRDO or some atomic energy institutions. So they have some specific needs. Sometime you can remember during COVID times, we got a lot of opportunity which are having focused area like COVID only. So it depends on the nation's need, or it may be like international need. Okay. If we are not getting exactly what is demanded from the opportunity or the funding agency, then we may fail to get the grant. Okay. So let me shift it a little bit or start using the pointer. So the question is, what are different agencies? I think you may be knowing the name of these agencies, but I try to summarize a couple of them. DST, we know Department of Science Technology. Their focus is on science, technology, innovation. They provide PMECR for early career researchers. If you are a little bit, at higher position, have a assistant professor or having more than 5 years of experience or holding some previous grant, then you may apply for core research grant, CRG. Recently, it happened. Okay, and you may also apply for women scientist scheme. It is very much promising for the women scientists. Other agency like Department of Biotechnology, it has a focus on biotechnology. It rooms around only biotechnology, so it has a very promising area for life sciences, health, and biotech. So the pharma people or pharma researchers, it is also a very good opportunity, or I would say the funding agency. So you may go for RGBI or BioQR. So these are the sister agencies through biotechnology or DBT. They provide the funds. Then you may also see the CSIR, that is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. You may get industrial R&D grant, or they also provide academic grant. But in case of CSIR, they demand to have some industrial translation potential. Okay, so whatever the grants come up as a funding or the I would say the opportunity, please go through the objectives and their limitation. If they have some limitation, please do not apply. Okay, otherwise it will waste your time and you will also lose the novelty of your proposal. Because you first once you submit a proposal in any government agency, you are not supposed to submit the same proposal for other agency, because they also seek the plagiarism report and they also seek declaration that it has not been submitted to any agencies. Okay, so CSIR provides some sponsored research projects. And apart from CSIR, you may also grab the grants from ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, as its name says, medical research. So they have some, sort of medical as well as clinical translation potential. So they provide some ad hoc projects, and ICMR also provide intramural, extramural projects, some small grants you may see. So small grants maybe for initiative or some high level researchers. So you can see. So the primary requirement is to create your profile on the portal. Once you create the profile, there's a problem in Indian system that whatever you're seeing in guidelines may be little bit mismatching on the portal. Okay, sometimes it is not updated. So I would recommend you to at priority, please create your profile and go through what they are asking on the portal to put in. Otherwise, sometimes people misunderstood between the words, okay, or characters. If they have written 1,000 characters, then words would be lesser. Okay, so please create your profile and go through what they are asking on the portal. And the same thing you need to put in once you prepare your proposal. You can get the grant from University Grant Commission. University Grant Commission, I would say it only provides the fund to government institutions mostly, but you may be lucky, particularly the private institution may get the grant. So they usually push in the area of education and faculty development. So they provide startup grants and travel grants. ANRF, it is a recent or transformed agency. Initially, it was SERP. Okay, now it is called Anusandhan National Research Foundation. You may grab, their focus is on high quality basic research, even the advanced research as well, but the focus on quality research particularly. They do not fund for anything which you are doing previously, the same thing you want to repeat or just want to expand or explore. Okay, so be careful while writing the proposal. They provide EM, EQ, TARE, power grants, and they also provide sort of, CRG actually falls under ANRF, not the DST. And we need to create a separate profile in DST and ANRF. Even you may also see the sister agency of ICMR, the DHR, Department of Health Research. So there could be different agencies. It was really difficult to summarize all agency at one platform. These are just examples. Apart from the government agency, you may also seek the funds from private funders, like private as well as international funding agencies like Tata Trust, Reliance Foundation, Wellcome Trust, TBT Alliance, India Alliance, Newton Bhava Fund, then Horizon Europe. These kind of funds are sometimes very time specific. They may be for 5 years, or it depends on the tie-up between the different countries, or it may be the tie-up between one country to other country, like India with other countries. So other than the international one, you may also grab the fund from Infosys, like company one, industry. Then NIH, it is in USA, UNESCO, and TIVAS. So these are the examples. Other than that, you may have a long list of funding agencies, and you may also find the very good number of opportunities on social media platform, particularly the LinkedIn, I would suggest. So apart from national, there is very good opportunity in case of state-level bodies. So we have different bodies like in Rajasthan, RUSA, Rajasthan Higher Education Council. So they also provide RUSA research grants ranging from 5 to 25 lakhs. Focused area is interdisciplinary innovation and applied research. I have included, sort of a link. I have already shared my presentation. So those who want, they can grab, they can also visit the links through the provided PPT. In case of Karnataka, they have a VGST Vision Group on Science and Technology. So they have SM, YSR, KFIST, and CESEM schemes. You can get the fund from 5 to 50 lakhs plus. So their focused area is science, engineering, medicine, infrastructure. Likewise, in Tamil Nadu, they have Tenseki, TN State Council for Higher Education. They provide minor and major research projects, but the funding is a little bit lower end, but it's fine. But you may also grab it up to 5 lakhs in the area of education, science, and humanities. In Maharashtra, there is an agency like BCUD, SPPU, Mumbai University. So you may grab the grants minor in major research projects ranging from 1 to 10 lakhs. In any domain of science and technology, particularly, you can apply, and it should have some local relevance to Maharashtra state. Okay, it is university specific portal. In case of Gujarat, they have GUJCOS, Gujarat Council of Science, Gujarat Council of Science and Technology. So they pro research support for innovation grant ranging from 10 to 15 lakhs. Research area focused on health, agriculture, clean technology, environment. Apart from that, there are a lot of states which have agency, like for example, DST. We have DST Rajasthan. Likewise, so the sister agencies from the national body to state level, you can also grab the grant, but at lower end. But their focus will be on the state level. The needs would be on state only. They will not focus on nation. Likewise, in Kerala, Telangana, West Bengal, Haryana, Punjab, Kerala, I have a lot of agencies like in Kerala, KSCSTE, Kerala State Council for SNT, R&D projects. You can get postdoc fellowship, young scientists grant 5 to 50 lakhs. So their focus area is fundamental and applied research. In Telangana, they provide TC cost, Telangana State Council for Science and Technology. They provide R&D and innovation grants. It varies from, in funds. So it is project based. But they're focusing on Telangana state only, local innovation, agriculture, and health. In West Bengal, they have agency like West Bengal DST, Department of Science and Technology. So they fund for research support, infrastructure, and higher education institution. The fund ranges from 5 to 20 lakhs. Universities, colleges, and science and technology can apply. In Haryana, they have a Haryana State Council of Science and Technology. They provide seed money, young scientists, project grants. again ranging from 5 to 20 lakhs. So the basic area or the focused area is basic and applied sciences. In case of Punjab, they have PBTI, Punjab State DST. So their focused area, they fund particularly for innovation grants, biotechnology, biotech incubation, often via DBT, Bio collaboration. They also fund for R&D projects. Amount is not fixed; it depends on the project proposal particularly. So focused area is biotechnology, translational science. Then Kerala, I think we have repeated this repeated one. Sorry for that. What kind of academic grants we have if we have to categorize? So we may have intramural grants, extramural grants, seed or starter grant. You may also grab some fellowships and travel grants. So let us see one by one what kind of description they have, what kind of funds and duration. In intramural grants, these are funded by the host institution or government body to a specified group. Let us take an example. Uh, BITS planning. They also fund intramural grants. They name it new faculty seed grant. Okay, it is very good amount, 20 lakhs. Likewise, you may also grab the grant intramural, particularly who are working in ICMR labs, CSIR labs. So the ICMR and CSIR, they fund for ICMR, CSIR only. That's why we call it intramural, mean the same people. They are funding for their own people, in short. Okay. So and duration ranges from 6 months to 2 years. Extramural, it means we are getting funds outside the institution. Okay, funded by external agencies, ranges from 10 lakh to 2 CR, even more than 2 CR. It may be go up to 10 CR, 15 CR, depends on we are applying as an individual or as an institution or university. So duration usually ranges from 1 to 5 years. It depends on the the call. And in case of seed or startup grant for early career faculty, you may get fund like 5 to 30 lakh. Now it is increased up to 60 lakh. I have recently received Prime Minister Early Career Research Grant, and it was like 60 lakhs. So you have a lot of opportunities. We have very green area in India. It depends on your, the devotion to your research and how we are writing your proposal. I hope you will enjoy this session. In the later slides, I have included how to write that kind of proposal. So in case of seed grant or startup grant, duration is usually 1 to 2 years. You may also grab some fellowships, particularly individual research funding, 25,000 to 70,000 per month. And it may range from 2 to 5 years. In travel grant, it is very good for attending conference outside the India. So you may have a fund, or I would say the support that I call international travel support from 50,000 to 2 lakh. So the duration usually it should not be more than 4 weeks, because if you are getting grants for travel, it is not supposed to be longer than 4 months, 4 weeks, or I would say 1 month. Let us take one by one so that you can understand what are the eligibility criteria, pros and cons, and who funds these kind of grants. So in case of intramural grants, eligibility usually if you are a faculty, PhD scholar or PhD students affiliated with the institute, usually require a basic research proposal and a supervisor support for scholars, not for independent researcher. Like if you are holding a permanent position like assistant professor, so that we call early career researchers. The pros of these kind of grants is easier application, because early career researchers are completely different from, the mid career researchers. So there would be like some sort of age bar or post PhD experience. Okay, like 5 to 7 years post PhD experience. If you are more than that, then you will not be considered early career researchers. Or if you are having age like more than 42 years, then you will be supposed to be mid career researchers. So those kind of researchers will not be eligible to apply in these kind of promising areas. Uh, it is quick. You will get a quick approval, less bureaucracy, and useful for pilot studies of preliminary data generation. It also helps to build a track record for bigger grants. When you are getting early career grant, it is supposed, or it is like the envisages that you will be using these kind of grants to grab bigger grants from international agency and from the government funding agencies to establish a center of excellence or sort of bigger grants so that you can benefit a larger population. So what are the cons if we consider the intramural grants? Low funding compared to national or international grants because they are actually supporting to establish your starting your career, establish your lab initially. So generally they are limited to 60 lakhs, not more than that. So limited to within the institution or group or agency, as I exemplified, BITS plan is only funding to BITS faculty or the ICMR or CSIR or DBT. They are only funding to their sort of labs. Okay, so general people who are not following or those are not working in CSI or ICMR lab, they will not get the intramural grants. Other than that, not always available year round. It means they only advertise. It means they are not perpetual or the calls are not open throughout the year. These kind of grants are funded by institution itself, as I said, university or research center, etc., or government bodies to their labs or branches like CSI or ICMR to support research by internal faculty, scholars, or the students. In case of extramural grants, the eligibility like faculty or researchers with a PhD or equivalent or having an established track record or research idea, and some are open to postdocs and advanced PhD students. Extramural grants have little more competition as compared to intramural grants. So please be careful at what stage you are. So likewise, you need to, if you are early career researcher, still you can grab the higher grants, but you need to collaborate with the senior position holding researchers. Okay. Common funding agencies or bodies are DST, DBT, NRF, ICMR, UGC, CSIR, NIH, NSF, or ERC or EU particularly. So when we consider pros, substantial funding, long-term support, 3 to 5 years, they provide very good funds in, starting from 1 CR to 15 CR even. So support maybe for equipment, manpower, travel, and publication. These are very prestigious, helps in career development or advancement. The problem is they are very highly competitive, involves detailed proposals, timelines, and budgets, longer review and approval time. When we consider the reviewing time or the decision time, intramural grants are, they announce the results relatively early as compared to extramural. Because extramural grants, they have a longer review period because the fund is large and they need to have multiple reviews from different groups. Then the grants provided by external agencies, government bodies, private foundations, international institutions to support research projects. When we consider travel grants, the eligibility includes research scholars, faculty with an accepted abstract of paper and poster. So the travel grants particularly can only be availed when you have accepted abstract paper or poster. Please keep it in mind that if your project, I would say the abstract or the poster paper is not accepted, then you cannot apply for the travel grant. May require prior presentation acceptance even. Some are age limited because they are sometimes they limit up to 35 years. Okay, if you are holding the age more than 35, you may not be eligible. So restricted to early career researchers. So they promote academic networking and visibility. It is very good opportunity when you roam around abroad in different institutions. Then you will have very good networking and visibility. Visibility, and you can showcase your research. Okay, and it offers global exposure to the latest trends and collaborators because once you go outside from your institution, it is damn sure that you will be exposed to arena of research because sometimes you cannot study everything on Google on different subscription sites. Okay, so you will get a bunch of, or I would say a plethora of research at one platform and I would say your mind will open to different areas. Usually, these kind of grants cover airfare, registration, accommodation. So please go through the guidelines. Sometimes they do not cover the registration. Sometimes they do not cover accommodation. In most of the cases, they cover the airfare, to and fro airfare. Okay. And the problem with these kind of grants, often partial funding. I have these kind of experiences, particularly with the CSIR. Sometimes they provide only 50% funding, and we cannot avail the 50%. Okay. If the airfare is like 1 lakh rupees and 50,000, nobody want to, out of the pocket. Nobody wants to use that kind of 50% money. They require a proof of acceptance, sometimes letter of recommendation, and application deadlines vary across conferences. So it is like if the conference is holding like in January, or I would say December, then they just offer not more than 3 month period. Okay, you cannot apply very early, you cannot apply very late. So it is very tight timeline. Okay, so for grabbing the travel grants, you should be vigilant. In case of seed grants, small grants to initiate new ideas or pilot studies helping generate preliminary data for future large-scale funding. In eligibility, early career faculty or a researcher with innovative ideas. Sometimes, in case of seed grant, they do not need preliminary data because they are actually giving money to generate preliminary data to grab larger funds. So the benefits of these grants are they encourage high risk, high reward ideas. Quick, sometimes, in case of seed grant, you may not be having the experience of what you are proposing. They may also fund that kind of area, but the idea should be innovative. On other grants, early career or the advanced research or mid career, you should have sufficient background of that research to support your proposal. In case of seed grant, startup grant, these are promising when you are proposing new ideas without having a very strong background of the same idea. Okay, so be careful by writing or segregating different grants or funding opportunities. These are offering very quick fund for feasibility of proof of concept studies, build track record and credibility. But the problem is they only offer typically from 6 months to 1 year funding. And limited funding, like not more than 5 to 10 lakhs, even they have little bit increase up to 20 lakh nowadays. They require follow-up proposal to sustain or expand the work. It means they have a sort of multiple reviews so that they can understand, are you really working or you are progressing in your research. So eligibility criteria in case of seed grant is you should be affiliated with a recognized academic or research institution, minimum academic qualification like PhD, assistant professor level or above. Some schemes require young investigator status, like you should not be more than 35 years. Institutional NOC is required, ethical clearance for biomedical, animal, or human studies. And ethical clearance is mandatory in case of ICMR because they have a sort of medical needs. They think that whatever you are doing will be translated to humans at the end. So they, even writing the submitting the proposal, they at the first level they require the ethical clearance even for the animals. Okay, it is very important part that I said, whenever you are writing a proposal, what are different components of a typical Indian grant proposal and supporting documents. So you will see the cover page. It has most of the information in summarized form. Okay, you need to write the cover page, see what is written there. Then you need to write abstract of your proposal. Then you need to summarize not more than 250 words. And then you need to write background and literature review, what you are thinking, what was the background of that problem, and what you have gone through in different literature to support your proposal. And then you need to write problem statement, what you have reviewed from different papers. You may have some preliminary data in case of background even that you find some problem. then you can put in problem statement, and this is a problem in case of this disease or this animal, or in case of some area, okay, in case of some state, or it may be specific to a nation or some sort of geographical landscape. Then you need to write the objectives. So the question, what are objectives? I have detailed out each and every these bullet points in the coming up slides. Then you will write methodology, what you will be doing in experimentation, then expected outcomes, what you are expecting from your proposed research. Then you need to write the budget with justification. It is very much indeed needed, even because sometimes we are writing or proposing one CR, but it is not truly needed. You need to identify what is actually needed in terms of consumables, in terms of recurring, non-recurring, travel, or different heads. If you are able to justify them, then the reviewer or the granting agency will think that you are really able to manage the funds. Then it is very much important to understand the timeline. So you need to specify in the form of Gantt chart or similar like PERT chart. There may be different forms. Then you need to give the supporting references that you have referred, okay, so that they can understand what you have reviewed in terms of background, in terms of supporting papers which are giving background of your proposal, okay. Then there would be some annexes depending upon the different funding agencies. Then annexes may be particularly asking the PIs, principal investigator, co-principal investigator, CV, in ethical approval, institutional NOC, and letters of support. Letters of support particularly from the institution, head of the institution. In most of the cases, it is provided as endorsement from the registrar of the institute. Okay, so what do we write in case of budgeting in Indian grants? So budgeting Indian grants is very challenging. Sometimes we are writing that we are not knowing. So what is non-recurring cost? What are recurring costs? What are indirect costs? Non-recurring cost, it is very simple. One-time purchase. What do we purchase in one time? Can you think of? What do we purchase one time? We purchase equipments. This it for a non-recurring means non-repeating multiple times. So it means we are putting whatever we are putting in non-recurring, it is just equipment. Okay. Then recurring means what is repeating in multiple years or coming years, means first year, second year, third year, following years. So recurring means you may be buying some consumables. Okay. You are hiring a sort of a research staff, JRF, SRF, principal scientist, I would say project staff, whatever. Okay, so it recurring means repeating on in the following years, so ongoing expenses. Indirect cost means the money which is provided to the institution. Okay, so institutional overhead. So let us define the project scope, determine required activities, then list requirement like equipment, what you need for the proposal needs, equipment, manpower, different things. Okay. Then categorize by recurrence, what is actually repeating in multiple years. It may be the manpower or the consumables. So consumables may be like you may be needing consumables little higher in the first year, little lower or maybe higher in the following years. It depends on the proposal or the objectives that must be aligning. Okay. Then prepare year-wise table. Sometimes we are puzzled what to write in different years. So once you write an objective, let us see if you have written in objective one something, the same should be aligning with the budget. If the objective needs 10 lakh, it should be written 10 lakh or something in year one. Okay. And you should also be aligning the same thing with the Gantt chart timeline. How many objectives you are covering in different years. Okay. So everything should be synchronized. Prepare year-wise table, or I would say the timeline spread out recurring costs. Then write justification for each and everything so that they can understand why you are asking or seeking money for different heads, recurring or non-recurring heads. Write justification like explain need and unit costs. Unit cost means like equipment. If you are buying, I have exemplified in next slide, don't worry. So I think I have missed out 5 to 7. Oh, I think it should be 6. It's okay. Ensure clarity and compliance. It means some sort of approval. Okay. If you're writing something that you will be working on animals, you should have some sort of approval, like animal ethical approval from the institute. So they have different agencies like institutional animal ethical clearance, IAEC, or they may be having different agencies depending upon what kind of translation you are supposed to do. Like, are you working directly on animal or the human? What Indian guidelines say, okay, agencies like DST, SERB, now it is called ENRF, require separate sections in the proposal for manpower, consumables, travel, and the cost and contingencies and equipment. Then you may be needing some funds for the travel. So the question, like, what travel includes? Travel may be like for doing the research from one part to the other part. It is like multi-institutional grant, or you may be doing some research studies in different institution, or they also give the travel funds or money to showcase your research, attending conferences in India or abroad as well. Okay, so it supports your to and fro, airfare, your accommodation, registration, so many things it support. Okay. Other than this, other costs and contingency, please be careful while writing the grants. What are consumers, what is contingency? Sometimes we write contingency very big. It should not be like that. They have some limitation. They support 3 lakh over the complete period. So it means like 1 lakh per year. You cannot write more than they are capping. Okay. So you should go through the guideline, what kind of capping they have kept in different agencies. If you are writing more than that, your grant may be rejected. And even the equipment, they sometimes they support not more than 1/3 of the grant. For example, if you are writing in grant for 60 lakh, so what could be the possible equipment capex? 1/3 of the total. So if you cannot write more than 20 lakh of the instrument or equipment, I would say keep it a little lower, like 15 lakh, so that they will think, yeah, you have actually segregated or allocated the funds logically. Each item must have a clear justification indicating purpose, cost assumptions, relevance to the project. Then equipment listing often demands make, model, details, accurate landed costs, including taxes and freight. Taxes and freight are needed when you are proposing an equipment or some which is supposed to be bought from outside the India. In that case, the price may be very high. Okay. And you need to convert the currency as well when you are putting in details on the portal. The formats often follow structure like non-recurring means equipment, recurring means manpower, consumables, travel, contingency, overhead, other SCRB grants also typically cover manpower, equipment, travel, and contingency along with institutional overheads. You may be thinking, what is overhead and what is overhead? How do we calculate it? All agencies have different overhead constraints depending upon funding capex as well. If you are putting in or proposing funds up to 50 lakh, okay, so they have different overhead. More than 50 lakh, they have different overhead means percentage. Let us take an example. If you are proposing an overhead which is more than 25 lakhs in case of SCRB, okay, up to 25 lakh, they provide 10% of the total non-recurring, okay, or recurring. Don't get puzzled. It is clearly written in different guidelines. Sometimes they consider the total of the grant, okay. Sometimes they only consider the recurring amount, okay. Based on that, where does this overhead go? It is given to the institution. Institution may decide at its own whether that money should be used for the infrastructure development or the laboratory uses, or they may also provide some percentage of that overhead to the researcher or the PI. It is an example of simple budget table. it is, I have proposed just for 3 years. So you may understand what is this lab scale GCMS. This is the recurring or non-recurring. It is non-recurring head. So you may be proposing, truly, it doesn't come up with the 6,40,000. It is just an example. Okay, GCMS very costly. So you will be using this money in the first year itself. Okay, it is not repeating in multiple or following years. And other had like recurring, so you may hire a JRF. You may also propose consumables in different years. You may see, the money that I have written as an example. You may also propose some travel money that is recurring over different years. Okay. Then institutional overhead depends on agency to agency. It is just an example. Okay. And miscellaneous grants, sometime it is also given for like other grants, maybe supporting to the equipment maintenance, AMC. Okay. They also give some funds for printing, patents, blah, blah things. Okay. But it is not very huge amount, more than 1 lakh or something. So then you need to see all horizontal and verticals should be matching. This should be matching, okay, total, and the total, this total should be matching in terms of verticals and horizontal. So the question is how to budget, okay, step by step. Whenever you are writing any budget and any kind of proposal, you need to define the project scope. Firmly outline activities and timelines. What actually you are proposing different activities in different time frame to identify the cost needs. List all requirements like what exactly you need. Sometimes people are writing equipment blindly. How blindly? Because the same equipment is existing within the premises or the institution. They ask what kind of facilities you have. You're writing, yeah, I have a rotavapor, I have a LCMS, HPLC, or Jita potential DLS equipment. You may be proposing the same. It is not justified. If you are having some equipment at the institution, or if it is available at the institution, then why you are seeking the same? So please do not write blindly in when you are proposing an equipment. So what kind of equipment you should propose? You should propose the equipment which is actually needed for the project, not for your personal use, like for the department. Okay. And it is one-time purchase. Then list out human resources. Truly, do you need some project assistant or the JRF or some sort of scientist? Then list out materials, consumables, travel, contingency, overheads, any special category as per agency like field trials or consultancy. Then categorize by recurrence. Clearly distinguish between the recurring and non-recurring costs. And obtain accurate quotations. If you're not getting suitable quotation, you may not be writing the budget properly, because you may not calculate the cost directly through Google. Okay, they may be writing wrong prices. So because you may not be calculating the suitable taxes, freight, or different charges, because you're not supposed to give that money from your pocket. Obtain accurate quotation, that is a priority. Get market or institutional quotation to support cost estimates, especially for equipment. And it is needed from the government agency to upload the quotation. Okay. So be careful while writing the proposal and particularly the budget section. Prepare year-wise table, spread recurring cost across the project years, keep capital cost in year one. Then capital cost in year one, why? Because you are starting your project and you need the equipment in the year one, not the latter years. Right, justification, explain the need for each item. How is it essential to the project methodology with unit cost, quantities, and logical timing. Then include indirect cost. Sometimes you may need the money, like factor in overheads as permitted. Check agency limit. Sometimes they limit 10%, 20%, typically 5 to 15% or a fixed amount as per the guidelines. Then ensure clarity in compliance. Follow agency specified formats. It is very much needed because all formats are sometimes ICMA format is completely different from DBT and DST. Okay. Then naming conventions, quotation, attachments. Sometimes they do not allow specific symbols, marks, comma, so many things they have limited. Okay. Pardon, do you have any questions? Or should I continue? Am I audible?
Hello.
Yeah. Should I
Pardon,
continue?
sir,
Do you have any questions?
I couldn't hear, sir. Can you please repeat once more?
Okay, so I should continue. I should finish the talk, then we will have some sort of question answer session. Am I right? I should continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay,
proceed,
thank
sir.
you. Thank you for confirmation. So, where should you submit these kind of grants? So we have different portals, submission portals. Each has a login-based interface to upload proposals, check status, and receive updates. You may see the proposals submission site like UGC, ICMR, ANRF, DBT, DST. So the problem with these portals is you should create your profile at the very early stage. In India, we have a lot of population, and at the end, these portals, in most of the cases, they crash and you will not be able to submit. Even if you have uploaded everything, at the last date, you may not be click on the submit button. And it is very common problem. Why? Because a lot of people at the one time, they are hitting the same button. Okay. And the portal may get frozen and you may not be able to submit the proposal. That is written very carefully. You might have prepared, you might have given a lot of time to prepare the same.
No shirt.
Then, what are the evaluation criteria? Okay, when you are submitting any proposal, it should have scientific merit, it should be innovative, and it should be feasible. What are the institutional support? And the very important part is investigator credentials. If you are not having sufficient research background, then people will not recognize as a researcher. Okay, so once you submit the proposal, how does it go? How will it be reviewed and evaluated? Once you submit it, the administrator check like completeness, eligibility. If it is not complete, if you are not eligible, that you will not be able to submit it at all. Okay. Once it is submitted, it will go to peer review and subject experts. And usually the reviewers who are subject experts, they review it. Then technical team that we call, then it is actually forward to the agencies who look for the funding segregation or the allocation. They usually see, are you really eligible to that kind of fund? Okay, then they evaluate your merit. Merit in terms of innovation, merit in terms of your background, merit in terms of particularly the overall benefit of your proposal and matching with the desired need. Okay. Then panel review like committee discussion, final scoring. Sometimes it is reviewed in one go. You may get the result announced in different websites, but it may also go partially, initial review and final review. Okay, initial review, they may seek EOIs or pre-proposal submission. Once it is reviewed like it is novel, then it may proceed for the further final reviewing process. They may seek the full proposal. Okay, complete submission. And they will provide some sort of final scoring in terms of a grade or maybe in some sort of marks. In funding decision based on scores and budget availability. So the question is, when you see any kind of call, they also give some sort of numbers, how many grants they will provide and what is the actual amount they have to fund. Then you can divide it. Okay. For example, if they are giving some sort of 800 crore rupees, okay, and they are giving 800 crore rupees for 800 proposals. So what do you assume? On an average, the 1 CR each and every proposal will get. Okay, but it is average amount. So you need to calculate what amount you should propose. It should be around 1 CR, or I would say it should not be more than 1 CR. Okay. Then what are the tips for successful grant writing in India? Understand agency priorities. What is the theme and what is the focused area? Okay. Then start early, submit before deadlines, be clear and concise. Sometimes we are writing which is not relevant in proposal. Okay. Justify every rupee in the budget. That is very much important. Then include relevant pilot data if you have or you have reviewed from different sources. Then collaborate with senior mentors. It is sometimes indeed needed because you are not experienced. So it is better to write with the senior mentors, and you may, once you get to know how to write the proposal, how to grab the grants, then you can independently write very good proposal. And proofread multiple times. The question is, once you have written the proposal, who should proofread? You will be proofreading multiple times. You should also give your proposal to your different experts in your department, maybe your colleagues. Okay, because you may not be able to identify the loopholes, or you might have missed something. This is a technical review. Okay, apart from that, you should also give the proposal to a layman. Yeah, for example, if I'm writing a proposal or supposed to submit a proposal, I will also give my proposal to my scholar to go through. Okay, so that we can understand whether he or she is able to go through. Sometimes he may be writing the proposal very at I would say very typical language that may not be understood. Okay, by the technical team. Reviewer may not get it. Okay. So it depends on the call as well. Sometimes may I also give my proposal to my wife. Okay. Whether the layman is also able to understand the people, the reviewer, you may not understand who is the reviewer. Reviewer may be from the medical field, he or she may be from the industry, or he or she may be from the academics, okay? He or she may be from some sort of, they, because who are the reviewers? Reviewers may be among us, okay? So you cannot predict. So your proposal should be very clear, precise, so that a layman as well as a technical person can understand and go through. What are common pitfalls to avoid? Okay, the missing documents. Sometimes we miss a lot of documents. We think we have submitted everything. Okay, but it is not like that. Before submitting any proposal, you need to ensure that you have all documents prepared, particularly the endorsement from the institution, or the declaration from PI and co-PI, or some sort of annual physical approval. Okay. For example, an applicant submit a proposal to the ICMR for a clinical study, but forgets to include the institutional and ethics committee IEC approval. The proposal is not considered for evaluation even. At priority, at very early stage, your proposal will be rejected. It will not go for review. Okay. Then big objectives, sometimes we write like writing we aim to improve health outcomes through our interventions. What kind of health outcomes? It is not defined. What kind of intervention? Not defined. Okay. It is better to write like we aim to reduce something levels like HbA1c levels by 1.5% over 6 months. Now it is defined in clear brackets in 100 diabetic patients using a functional food supplement. Now we can understand the preciseness of the objective. Then sometimes we overestimate the budget. A researcher applies for 1 CR for a year basic science project. Listen, basic science project requiring only consumables and 1 GRF. Okay, still the researcher is proposing 1 CR. Is it really justified? I don't think so. Reviewers find the budget inflated and reject the proposal. Then, ignoring guidelines, a proposal to DST is submitted in 15 point, okay, instead of required 12 point. 15-point font means you are writing proposal in bigger fonts. So you will be consuming more space. Okay, you could have written better, or you could have incorporated more text that is relevant to your proposal. So the page count. So either you will either exceed the page count, or you may lose, the relevant text. So it is returned without review. Okay, or sometimes it is rejected as well. Once you submit the proposal, it is peer reviewed. You may be asked to revise. Okay. And the grant award notification you will receive if you are successful. And once it is successful, then the fund is released in installments over the proposed years. It may be for 2 years, it may be up to 5 years. So the question is, if you get the grant, how the project execution and reporting will happen? You may be reviewed at midterm, or then you need to submit the final reports. Every year, you need to submit the UC, utilization certificates, then publication presentations, and IP if you are, I would say, a dedicated researcher, have proposed something very innovative, then you may submit, or I would say you should submit the patent. Okay. Yeah, because the patent takes a lot of time for the grants. Okay. If you are submitting patent in India, it takes at least 1 to 5 years. It depends on how does it go in processing. So in conclusion, takeaways. Okay, what are the you can understand what are academic grants and how these are crucial for researcher. And you must get to know the right scheme for your project. And you need to prepare early and follow guidelines and grant enhance academic careers. So please apply and keep writing the grants. And these are the very general takeaways and conclusions I have included following these slides. Different heads, how to write a grant basic tips. I think we have some time. We can discuss these points. Am I right? Or do you want to ask something? What do you say? Should I discuss the proposal writing? Can anybody confirm, please? Okay, I think everybody is listening or maybe writing something. How to write a grant basic, how to write a grant. These are basic tips. So you may see different headings. So what kind of headings you will see in different proposal? And I have written, very schematically what kind of title you should write, what you should do, what you should not, what you should avoid, how does it matter? Okay. So the title, for example, development of a novel green nano-based topical formulation for targeted treatment of skin cancer. So it is giving some novelty, it is giving intended purpose, it is also targeting a specific disease, and is it a need of nation? So you need to think of the title. What you should need to do, be precise and focused, and include the delivery approach. Here that I have included topical. Now technology, for example, ionic liquid, some sort of a nano formulation, and the disease like where will it be applied, like skin cancer. What you should avoid, overly technical and big titles. Sometimes they are writing fancy words. Please avoid those wordings. Words like study on. There's no end to study anything. Okay. An investigation of, you will be keep investigating everything. So people may get with these words, may get the funds with these words, but in my opinion, these words are not suitable to put in the title. Because investigation, if you're writing or proposing following words with the investigation, that it may be supporting the title, but sometimes investigation is like you may not be like concluding, okay, here research. So they are too generic. Why it matters? It is like your first impression. Okay. Reviewers often first judge clarity, novelty, and feasibility from the title itself. Okay. So you are the principal investigator. You may be collaborating or taking help from co-investigators. What does it include? Your name, designation, affiliation, research background, one paragraph and paragraph annexer, or you may be asked to submit your CV, contact details. So tips like ensure an alignment of expertise with the proposal. For early career researchers, add a mentor or senior faculty. It is, I think, recommended. And watch for what? Gaps in your background versus proposal burst. If there's gap, then please do not write that kind of proposal. Lack for interdisciplinary team, like no medical collaborator for cancer work. It means if you are proposing a cancer studies and if you are not able to conduct cell culture studies or animal studies, then people will think you are not capable or your team is weak. That weakens the proposal. Okay, so duration, it depends how long year studies or the proposed research actually needs. Okay, 36 months, in this case, 3 years, I have clearly justify the timeline in the work plan. Then budget summary, for example, 50 lakhs recurring once, first year, second year, third year, that recurring means manpower, consumable, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And non-recurring means equipment. Then you should verify the verticals and horizontals should be matching in terms of total. Then busting tips, use realistic market values, justify each equipment's necessity, break up travel contingency consumables. Please don't inflate or underestimate. Okay, reviewers will notice. Request major capital equipment unless essential. So project summary, that is abstract. It should not be more than 250 to 300 words. It should cover the problem statement like skin cancer, burden, limitation of current therapy, proposed solution using like nanoformulations, methodology in brief, what exactly novelty in your methodology is, okay? Key objectives and expected impact or outcomes. Significance in national and translational context. It is indeed needed because they will look for really, is it limited to your lab or is it really needed for the nation or maybe translated to international level? And this is your sales pitch. Okay, whatever you're proposing, whether will it be coming into the market? Does it have some marketability? And focus on novelty, feasibility, relevance altogether. Okay, then avoid jargon. Do not write, some sort of proverb that it will happen, it will heal everything, and it is like Sanjeevani. It is like it will heal everything. It is solution for everything. Okay, even technical reviews appreciate clarity. So, what does objectives include? Your objectives will tell what you will be doing in your research. Okay. So the primary objective is to develop and evaluate a nanoformulation for skin cancer therapy. So what kind of specific objective does it include? Synthesis and characterization of biocompatible nanoformulation. So first objective, and designing topical formulation because you will be applying to skin. Then you will be characterizing these formulation in vitro, skin permeation, release kinetics. Then we also, once it is giving very good result in in vitro release or permeation, then you will check it in cell line, cell culture, okay, for cytotoxicity, mechanistic evaluation. Once you get very promising result, then you can proceed for the in vivo efficacy and skin toxicity profiling in suitable animal model. Okay, so make objectives smart. What does it mean? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. It should not be like you are doing investigating things for years. Okay, it is not supposed to be a proposal. Avoid overly broad or vague goals. Okay, what do you include in background and rationale? Typically, they ask to write 1,000 to 500 words. Okay, 1,500 words. So, what is in present? It means it gives a background. Yeah, so you may be discussing here what I'm exemplifying as per the title post research. You need to write about skin cancer, topical delivery issues, nanoformulation gap in your prior work or institutional capabilities, so that it will give or support strengthen your proposal. Okay. In skin cancer, you may talk about epidemiology, current therapies, limitations, topical delivery issues, skin barrier, solubility, local side effects. You may talk about nanoformulation, structure, function, emerging use in delivery, particularly a novel one. Okay, nanoformulations are not new, but there are a lot of advances. Then you need to propose a gap, lack of ionic formulation or novel formulations or anti-cancer, topical treatment. Yeah. Your prior work or institutional capabilities will strengthen the proposal. So this justifies why the project is needed. Use the latest references, past 5 years. Please do not put older references, especially Indian burden data. Nobody will appreciate. Please follow the data from recognized agencies like WHO. Show why existing creams or gels fail. In this case, like for 5FU or imiquimod, particularly for skin cancer, men's and violent formulations are a game changer, like penetration, biocompetence, stability aspects. Please don't overhype. Acknowledge limitation like regulatory hurdles or toxicological concerns. Forget comparative benchmarks like how your system versus existing creams. Okay, so that you can put in the superiority of your proposed system. Okay, what do you include in review of literature? Usually it ranges from 500 to 800 words. So it is very specific, structured. Okay, it should not be like you're writing paragraphs. Okay, it should be in bullet points. Proposed system in pharmaceutics, proposed system in skin delivery. So in the proposed title, I have enlisted these points: proposed system for cancer therapy, then for skin cancer topical delivery, state of art, what is actually existing, and what we are proposing. That will come later on. Okay, highlight contradictions, gaps, lack of in vivo evidence in past works, and mention Indian studies if available, and avoid outdated not before than 5 years or 10 years. I would suggest, even I would recommend limit to recent 5-year research. Okay, papers unless historical. Historical means if it is if it was like milestone, somebody discovered or invented something, then you can write in. Then don't just list papers, synthesize them. It means they should have some chronological, they should have some relevance when you are putting in the references which are relevant to your literature. Then work plan and timeline. So you may, graphically represent the Gantt chart or write a table. Make timelines linked to objectives. It is very much important. Sometimes you may be covering 3 objectives in first year. Is it not possible if you are proposing 5 objectives in total? So mention tools like QBD for formulation, fence, diffusion cells for permeation, HNE, stress, tanning, so the techniques should be very clearly, precisely specified. So in monthly, 1 to 6 months, 7 to, so 6 monthly I have segregated. Okay, this is the timeline. What activity you will do, what are the milestone or deliverables. So in first year, you will do like synthesis, toxicity scanning, and you will have some designed molecule toxicity report. Then following 6 months, you will be doing some drug loading and formulation design. Then you will have some sort of optimized formulation. Then again, further going for the 6 month, then you will doing some in vitro studies. So you will have some diffusion or release data. These are some, don't copy paste these things. Okay, these are just for example. Okay, and these are not complete information. I'm just giving these things or these pointers to understand. So further, you will do some cell line studies and in vivo studies and data analysis at the end. So at the priority, you should file the patent. Okay, so what you should write in methodology detailed protocol is split into parts like synthesis, characterization, formulation development, then in vitro and ex vivo testing, then in vitro cytotoxicity studies. So all these methodologies should be aligning with the objectives as well as timeline. So clearly defined controls, doses, ethical approvals, and sample sizes. It is indeed needed, particularly in case of ICMR when you go through the proposal guidelines. Don't use vague terms like toxicity tests. Specify which kind of toxicity, skin irritation, via dress test, like that. So the next pointer that you need to see, that is expected outcomes. So what kind of expected outcome you are proposing? That you will get the optimized biocomputer formulation based anti-cancer activity in the proposed title. Then you will enhance permeation, and it will be giving the local drug retention as compared to the reported formulations, okay, or the planned drug. Then it will also reduce systemic exposure and toxicity. So you should support these things with the peer-reviewed publication, okay, so that you can write some comparative pointers. Then you will also be expecting to get some substantial outcome in terms of IPR, okay. You should be getting the patent out of this research. So this answers what will be this project deliver to the scientific and patient community. Okay, keep it in mind, this question, so that you can write a very well drafted points in case of expert outcomes. What will be the deliverables and milestone? And yearly, you should write clearly what you will be getting yearly. Okay. For example, in year one, you will synthesizing molecules and formulation development. In year two, cytotoxicity and permeation studies, or you will getting some proof of concept in terms of cytotoxicity and permeation. Then year three, you will be getting some animal efficacy and patent publication. So be bold, but deliverable should be focused. It should not be like you are writing something, but you are not able to achieve. Okay. So it means you should be bold, but it should be focused that you are able to deliver. Okay. Then ethical considerations, animal protocols. So there are like CPCS EA approved, IEC submission. So formulations using GRAS components to reduce irritation, data transparency, human endpoints, mention readiness for ethical and biosafety clearance. I think one point that I have missed, I don't think it is included, TRL label. What is TRL? Technical readiness label. Whatever you are proposing, is it, there are different TRL. Okay. At which stage your research is? Is it really at early stage, or have you really developed some proof of concept? Or is it like you have developed something, you need to translate it into human beings? Okay. Based on that, you need to specify what is TRL label. Apart from that, people will also ask in proposal SDGs. Okay, there are some 16, 17 SDGs. So you may go through because it was really difficult to summarize everything at one platform, although I tried my best to incorporate different pointers. So please go through. And the next point that I want to discuss, the institutional support and support facilities, you should enlist very carefully what you have available at your research institution or the academic institution. Highlight available labs, formulation lab, then animal house, tissue culture lab, collaborating hospital if it is available, and attach letters of support if you are collaborating with somebody, MOUs with clinicians if it is needed. Then team expertise, it is needed because reviewers will see, are you really capable of doing this kind of research? Provide bio sketches of PI and co-PI, DSTI, CIMA, CV format. You should follow the strict formats what they have asked. Then prior publication on formulation, prior publication on the proposed research. That's it. Then existing projects or relevant experience, so that they can think of, yeah, yeah, you are really capable of doing research and you are really a dedicated researcher. Then address any gaps in expertise via collaborators. If you're not having something that you want to do in your proposed research, then collaborate with the experts. Then you should write the references, add 15 to 20 peer-reviewed references. It may be in a specific reference style like EPA or Vancouver style. It depends on the agency. Then at least 3 to 4 Indian database studies. Please support, because people will think, are you really considering the Indian research data? Then newer formulations, then skin cancer, epidemiology, regulatory safety of the proposed system. Okay. So I think you must have enjoyed. I tried my best to convey the grant writing, the strategies. Thank you very much for patient listening. I'm open to your questions.
Thank you very much, sir, for your gentle time and your valuable response and interaction with all of us today. If anybody from the participants having any query, any questions, please ask, sir, or you can drop your questions in the chat box.
Even I have given my email ID on my, during my presentation,
Yeah,
or even I have shared my presentation as well.
yeah, Pranjal,
So,
unmute yourself. You can ask the question.
yes, somebody, Pranjal.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Hello, sir. The session was wonderful. Thank you so much for it. Sir, I have one question regarding apart from the guidelines that have given through the any funding agency, I want to ask what is the basic criteria that researcher need, like how many I-10 index, how many H index exactly need before applying the
Yeah,
proposal?
I got your point. Sometime truly for I index, H index, they do not look for early career researchers. It is needed like when you are applying a grant for establishing like Center of Excellence or Center for Advanced Research. Okay, in that case, they will see the independent researchers, their performance in terms of their publication and their publication record. H index reflect how many first author publication or the primary researcher as a researcher you have done very good, so H index is very important in that case. Nobody asks about the citations, okay, because the
Okay.
citations are not important. But they also ask for the patents, granted patents, filed patents, maybe like alluring to the reviewers, but filing is not really a criteria. The granted patents they may ask.
Okay. And the second thing, sir, regarding if my institute is in the development stage, so can I apply for under the development stage, like first year or second year of the institute is going on? So can I apply? Can I apply in that case?
Yes, you can apply. I think in this case, you may see the fund like DST Fest. Okay,
Okay.
because they provide a fund to develop your infrastructure in terms of building and equipment. Okay,
Oh,
so the institutions which are growing, you can apply for that kind of funds. But for establishing like a center of excellence or center for advanced research, you must have established before. So you should see the seed grants, startup grants, or
okay.
departmental or institutional grants.
Okay. Okay. And sir, do we have to focus particularly on research paper or review paper with good impact factor can be also acceptable while they are scrutinizing the proposal?
Uh, review paper nobody likes in terms of calculating the research background, because review papers
Okay.
is the summarization of different researchers. It doesn't give implication that you have done research in review. Okay, so if you are having review paper in your area in high impact
Okay.
general, then people may recognize that yeah, you are doing a very good research, and you are also writing or doing some sort of literature review in your focused area. But you should not
Okay.
put in review papers too much. You may write only one review paper, and rest I would recommend please avoid to uh, write the review paper as a reference.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody,
Anyone else?
if you
Please ask.
you may write to me if you have any questions. I have given my email ID, and it is also available on the website Bits Planning. You can grab it, and if you have any question, and if I am capable of answering that query, please, I would be happy to answer. And thank you very much for your valuable comments in the chat box. So I think I should say directly rather than putting in the chat box. And I'm thankful to the institute as well, Haldia Institute of Pharmacy, and I'm thankful to Dr. Pritesh who invited me. And I get this opportunity to discuss these pointers which may be helpful to early careers. And please, the research scholars should also go through these guidelines. Sometimes they think we have not completed the PhD. Once you complete the PhD or once you complete your research, even at the master's level, you can grab different funds from recognized agencies. You may also seek the funds from DST, ICMR, and CSIR when you have just completed the masters.
Thank you, sir, very much. It is an indeed a great honor and privilege for me to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to Dr. Ankit Jain, sir, for his valuable time, insightful presentation, and thoughtful engagement with all of us today.
Thank
Your
you, Vince. Thank
expertise,
you, Vince.
your expertise and clarity in explaining the topics today, funding the future, academics, grants, strategies for early researchers, have truly enriched this faculty development program. On behalf of FDP organizing committee, I express our sincere gratitude to your contribution on the second day sessions of faculty development program. We deeply appreciate your willingness to share your knowledge and your continuous support towards the academic development. Thank you once again, sir, for being with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for everybody for patient listening, and I hope my session was useful to everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day, sir. And thank
Thank
you
you.
to all my participants. Thank you for your patience and for your cooperations. And we will meet again tomorrow on the third day sessions. So have a great day to all of you.
Wishing you the best or the successful completion of your FDP. And I would appreciate that you initiated this kind of topic and which is relevant because all researchers who are working in India or the researchers who may be working outside the India, they need to see these things carefully. You may grab the fund from any agency. It depends on your writing skills.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, bye bye. Take care.
Thanks.